Now listen, if you can see my screen, can you see the blank Microsoft Word file?
Yes, Doc.
You can put there table 1 and mimetic analysis. Below that, this is again for everybody the same suggestion table, at least. Okay, good. And merge this first. And then what's the title that you said? Core Moral Lessons? Because this is your sub problem, so this is what we want to see. What's the moral lesson number 1, moral lesson number 2, moral lesson number 3? Moral lesson number 1 talks about okay. Um, maybe you said empathy. Next here, just only for example, okay. Um, what other lesson? Empathy. The next one. Um, la love is not moral lesson of respect. Last moral lesson is patience. And then you explain where was it manifested empathy. The lion has expressed understanding of the mouse's situation. Just I don't know your story situation. Then respect. The mouse has expressed value and courtesy to the authority. To the authority of the I don't know what your story is all about. The authority maybe perhaps already done. And then patience.
Kindness, Doc, ang moral lesson.
Mouse has exuded long persistence and endurance despite the dire situation. And below this, and you can put there, sorry,
Doc.
yes,
What's the minimum of the sentence, Doc, in every table? Like, for example, empathy. Is it um is it how are we going to use one sentence only, or is it okay if we
you can
put
use as long as it is consistent. If you're
ah
using a sentence here, then everything must be a sentence. If you're using a noun here, if that is already very long sentence, then only use noun phrase. But because I'm making a very big table, so I can make a statement, but look at the sentences. At least I didn't put a period because I will explain those concepts later.
okay, Doc. Thank you, Doc.
And then, if you want, oh, you can put, oh, period, period, period. And then Analysis. Concept number one, empathy. Story provides. This is now in the results and discussion. So that's I said to you, be sure that your problem number one, this table will be put in the results and discussion, because after the presentation of the table, you will explain what the table is all about the empathy. And this is only the concept, the very key concept of what you will discuss. So empathy, how did it happen? The story provides, in the situation where the lion tried to, you explain it here now, a long statement that explains what you put in the entries above. Your first category is empathy, second is respect, third is patience. So all of these are mimetic analysis because this is found in every human being. So the author might have copied the concept from a human being, but it is in a very, very kind of a fable type because it uses animals. However, it really refers to the moral lesson on human lives. So that's how number one, empathy. And then maybe explain this in 5 paragraphs. And then next is respect. Explain that in 5 paragraphs. Respect. Now you can tell us about the story here. That's what I said to you. This is where now you discuss. By the way, everybody, this is to be put in the results and discussion. So to tailor fit, to adjust to what you have written in your statement of the problem, and then explain very long empathy, 3 to 5 paragraphs about what you said here above, there, and then number two, the mouse is expressed, and then discuss everything. That's how you're going to have your analysis.
Doc.
Okay? Okay, group number one.
Yes, Doc.
We'll see your presentation again. Go on, go on. Number two, can you just remove the of the story? Because yeah, we talk about the story, the impact of story on children's literature. Wait, what theory is this? The impact of story on children's literature. Is this already your expressive? I because I said to you, number one, number two, number three, those are aided by above theories because this is a qualitative academic paper. So you tailor fit, you try to adjust. Look at your number two. Group one, let's make it fast. I've been explaining this for longest time now. Number two, impact of story on children's literature. Where is the author there? Because your second theory is expressivism, you said. Where is the author there?
Sorry, Doc, we didn't know na we need to kuan dissect preservation.
Huh? Where is it now?
We will just change that, Doc.
So how will you change it? It has to be about the author. What will you study about the author? On how his psychology is detected or manifested in the work. How will you say it? Group number one in your sub problem number two. How will you say it? Yes?
It's it's a Doc.
And number three, the formation of moral values. Still a moral lesson. Uh, I hope group number three would not have the same mistake. I've been explaining this to groups one, a group three, a group two, and group four. And now group one is the same correction. Whatever you put in your sub problem is the same rank or the same order of how you presented the theoretical background. What is the first theory? That must be the one that you will focus in the first sub problem. And then the second theory that you will use will also be the one that would be manifested in your number two. And then the third theory that you will use will also address the answers to the sub problem number three. And because you only have three theories, so you don't need the fourth. That's a qualitative literary critical analysis is an academic paper, one academic paper per theory. So all of those must tailor fit. They must match the theories above and how you try to state your problem in the sub problems number one, number two, number three. On formation of moral values, you don't need this because it will be discussed in number one. The story's contribution to development of empathy, and that's also discussed in number one. That's already redundant. You are using theory number three is group number one. What theory are you using again? If you understood your study.
Mimesis, exclusivism, and affective Doc.
Also, number three will be about the reader. So mention there reader's response or the reader's perspectives about the literary
About
work.
okay, Doc.
That's it. So number one is expressive. Number two, remove the impact of children's literature. That is not mimesis. How will you state your number two question? Sub problem. I doubt if you understood your study. Again, number two, what will you put here? Because your theory above, you said it is expressivism. So your sub problem number two must also be about the life story of the author. And when you are already in the results and the discussion, then that's also your focus on how you will state it. Given that you will state here the psychology of the author or biographical sketches or relations to author's life. If you put here number two, the relations to author's life. So later in your table, it's also entitled the relations to author's life. That's it. because those are the sub problems. Those will be manifested in the table, and there is a paragraph inset to describe or define or yeah, expound everything that you have in your sub problem in order for us to understand better your work. Can you do something now? Like 2, 3, and 4, remove this. You are not taking note. It won't help when I'm mentioning to you as early as possible on the dot. Correct it so that later you will not have difficulties because I'm already teaching you and I don't want to teach again and again, especially for the next group.
Yes, Doc. Sorry, Doc.
I hope that this will be again already corrected tomorrow once you show to me. Tomorrow is face-to-face class so everybody can see me and I can see if your corrections are right and I have to ask prompt questions. Go down. Go down now. I hope you already understood your number 2, number 3, and no more number 4. Number 2 should be about an author's life, expressivism. And then number 3 is about your response being the reader. That's it. Lower part.
Yeah, Doc.
Study is even only children's literature. It is very easy. Can you go down?
Mark Leco.
He is lagging.
Lower part. Move lower. Yeah, go on. Methodology. What's your methodology? You have to emphasize there. This uses the major literary critical theories because you are using major literary critical theories. Except if you use archetypal images there, if you use psychoanalytical theory, then you can put there this literary critical analysis or this research utilizes a great deal of literary critical analysis using the modern literary theories and trends. In case that you use, again, this is for all the people, in case that you use not the major theories, the four major theories, expressivism, effectivism, mimesis, and formalism. If you're using neo-historicism, culturalism, post-colonialism, then you can put there modern literary theories and trends. So trends, because the others are trends. If you're not using, so just put the major literary theories. Go down, please. Faster.
Mark Leco.
Go down. Data gathering procedure is How do you find, like, what is the source of your data? The lion and the mouse, the timeless. This was what you discussed in your rationale. See, data gathering process is this literary analysis uses the major sources of data coming from what book or from the internet. What is the internet source? The website. Where did you read the story? So that's a data gathering process where you will explain to us how do you analyze theoretical wrong spelling, correct that, and then lower, please. Go down, lower, please. By the way, everybody, every chapter must be a separate page. So when you start with chapter 3, it must be put on a separate page. Chapter 1, chapter 2. And I'm putting everybody on the record. Everybody, right? Every chapter has no page. If you noticed, if you took a picture of those books in the speech lab, if it's a chapter page, it's counted as one page, but it has no page number. Like, can you move up group number 1 a bit only? Yeah, there is no page number here, right? If this page before the chapter 3 is page number 13 or page number 18, then the chapter 3 is page number 19. But you do not indicate the chapter, so you have to cover every chapter page. Again, everybody, this is the third time. Every chapter page, you don't show the page number, but it's counted as a page. So if the page before that is page 18, given that above, and please put it at the lower right, at bottom right part. So your page numbering must be on the bottom right, not top, not in the middle, bottom right. Do you understand that?
Yes, Doc.
Following the format of MLA. So it must be lower part, and then it must be on the right. Also, chapter 3, I repeat to everybody, this is the technicality. It will be encircled by your panelist. 18 is the page before this. So chapter 3 will be page 19, but you do not show the page number. How do you cover that? You can use circle or the rectangle, square to cover that, and then make it not transparent so that it will be covered. Clear, everyone?
Clear, Doc. Clear,
On
Doc.
lower results and discussion, this is now where you put your table. You have a lot of editing to do. Group number 1. Lower, make it fast. We are smart. What's happening to him? A mimetic analysis. Above is a mimetic analysis, but before this, again, mimetic analysis, maybe you can say children's literature often, okay, no problem. And then below, maybe somewhere after the first paragraph or the second paragraph, then you put your table, wherever is most strategic. But the table must not be cut. It means to say that the table must be put on one page.
Okay, Doc.
Do not put the table like page number 19, table, and then the table extends to page number 20. It has to be that the table is a very clear inscription of whatever thoughts or notions to be discussed in the paragraphs. So you put it the most strategic somewhere, but not cut.
Yes, Doc.
Proceed to another page.
Only the table, Doc, that we will put in the after the first paragraph.
It depends on you. You can put it before, you can put it somewhere in the middle. However, it must not be cut.
Ah, okay, Doc.
And below every table, then the explanation. Of course, the explanation is the paragraph inset. So you can cut the paragraph inset. You can put it will extend to the next page, the next page. What I'm telling
Mm.
you is if it's a table, it must be that the reader can see your table clearly on one page. It must not be, again, it must not proceed to another page. Are
Yes,
you
Doc.
with me?
Yes, Doc. And after the table, Doc, we're going to explain the every curva.
Every subcategory that
Yes,
you
Doc.
mentioned in the table.
Yes, Doc.
So you can have an independent side head, the one that I did earlier, empathy period,
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then, yeah, what was
Okay,
that?
Doc.
Anyway,
Empathy.
example only. Do not follow that
Yes, Doc.
because I don't know your story.
Yes, Doc.
Go on with
Will, Doc.
the last entries, results and findings like that. Again, adjust, please, justify. All of these must be justified,
Yes,
except
Doc.
for those expressive analysis. The expressive analysis is this is right. We call that independent side head. Go down. If it's put in the middle, we call it independent center head. Since you flash it to the right or left, it's called independent side head. Summary of findings. This chapter provides a concise overview. How do you summarize? The study revealed the following findings: colon, findings, colon. Number one. This number one here must be the summary of the findings that you discuss in your tables or in your paragraph inset. So, yeah, the fable highlights importance of showing mercy and empathy towards, okay, because mercy and empathy only are two. There must be three subcategories. So that's what you will talk here in number one. But again, this is not ending with the period. Since it's a long paragraph, it must be colon after size. Example that this is already correct because you have three. This will again summarize everything in very few words because the results and findings discuss lengthy discussion, very long explanation, specific explanation of the tables or the entries in the tables, expounding. But here already only a summary, like few words that would summarize everything in your number one, the table number one. And then number two, remember what your theory for number two is? This is
Expressivism, Doc.
so everything here must explain about what you wrote in your analysis in the tables, in the table above about expressivism, about what you have found out. But it must again be in a capsulated form, like few words that would summarize everything in your discussion of the table number one and number two. And then number three, it's about your response because you're the reader. So again, because you discussed this in the results and discussion, so this is again a summary only. That's why findings. And then no more number four. Only one to three. Do not complicate your life. You don't have sub problem number four. It means only also one to three, your findings. The summary of your findings will only again be about the things that you discuss. And then the conclusion, take note because group number two and number four, we were not able to arrive at the conclusion. Look at your conclusion. Conclusion, please. Independent side head. Flush this to the left. Conclusion. Based on the findings, the following conclusion is arrived at in confirmation of the search theory assumed of the research theory assumed, period, undoubtedly, period, assumed. And then after that period, I don't know how you will catch up. The post is very, very sloppy, very, very long time, period. And then undoubtedly, capital letter U, undoubtedly, comma, Aesop's story, The Lion and the Mouse. Again, The Lion and the Mouse, every story must be in small, single quotation, single open and single close quotation, capital letters. Aesop's The Lion. Aesop's open quotation, single quotation, capital letter the, T, capital letter L, lion, and capital letter, yeah, the, and then mouse. Sorry, the there is not capital letter because if you start the title it's capital letter, but the next the is small letter, and then mouse is capital letter, and then close single quotation. And then what have you found out? This conclusion should be your talk on your title. What's your title? Group number two. Recap the title in your conclusion. Undoubtedly, Aesop's The Lion and the Mouse unveils the moral lesson and nurtures. That's your title, right? So this is also what you will affirm in your conclusion. What's your title, please? So we can restate this.
Um, Unveil moral lessons on nurturing empathy, the impact of Aesop's The Lion and the Mouse on children's literature and moral development. Doc.
Okay, I hope you can put that here, but undoubtedly, Aesop's The Lion and the Mouse is. Can you put the title here so that we can make it fast? So I can help you with your conclusion as fast as you can. It's too much delay now. So that's it. Uh, Aesop's undoubtedly, period, assumed, theory assumed, period. Who is taking care of the hosting? Why is it so slow?
Mark Leto.
Assumed. Change this and then period. And then put undoubtedly capital letter U, comma, Aesop's The Lion and the Mouse unveils moral lesson and nurtures empathy using the impact of uh, uh, empathy on children's literature and moral development. That is how you put a conclusion. It is based on your title. I repeat, and I will not say this again. Based on the findings, the following conclusion is arrived at in confirmation of the research theory assumed. Research theories assumed. Period. And then capital letter undoubtedly, comma, Aesop's The Lion and the Mouse unveils moral lessons and nurtures empathy on children's literature and moral development. That's it. That's your conclusion. The conclusion just only manifests what your title is so that your title will be valid. So this is what you conclude.
Okay, Doc.
Can I see that now? Unveils moral lesson because you will repeat this title with again the lion and the mouse. I know this. And nurture empathy. Your title is manifested in your conclusion to make it valid and nurtures empathy on children's literature and moral development. And remove the kindness and aesthetic impact of the story that's not in your title. So it will make your title weak in case you put other notions there. That is how easy the qualitative research is. Everything is organized, everything is tailor fit. You can adjust anything there, even the controlling of the data, because this is not statistics based. Go down to your recommendation. Recommendation tells us how did you attack your study. Like Aesop's Charming Lion and the Mouse conveys recommendation. It has to be 1 to 3. Also, what's your recommendation number 1? Based on the findings and the conclusion, let me write. Based on the findings and the conclusion, these are following recommendations. For 1, what was that you said? Mimesis. In studying the core of Aesop's The Lion and the Mouse, it is important to unlock the social realities manifested in the literary work through the moral lessons such as empathy, patience, and perseverance, which are very integral in the lives of children. Semicolon. Number 2. Number 2 is expressive for a concrete analysis of Aesop's story, it is imperative that the life of the author must be focused in order to understand his psychology, his or her psychology, such as what will you discuss above will also be manifested here. Maybe childhood years, professional experience, and philosophical perspectives. Alan again. Those are just samples on how you're going to make recommendations. How will you recommend in case that they will study this literary work? How will you recommend for them to analyze well? So in my number 1, I said, in studying the core of Aesop's The Lion and the Mouse, it is equally important. I had it wrong. Colon, sorry, comma must be within the quotation mark. So comma first and then quotation mark. It is important to unlock the social realities manifested in the literary work through the moral lessons such as empathy, patience, and perseverance, which are very integral in the lives of children. Semicolon. 2. For a concrete analysis of Aesop's story, it is imperative that the life of the author must be focused in order to understand his or her psychology, such as childhood years. If, for example, this is your subcategory above childhood years, so you can put it in your recommendations, professional experience, and the third one is philosophical perspective. Is in case that these are the ones that you indicated in the tables. Got it? Pastor, got it.
Yes, Doc.
And then further recommendations. You you give us some books to read. Below, move lower, so others can also find how to do it. Do not put if the lion no. Further recommendations are books. Number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, number six. At least six books. Six that could be read by people if they want to study Aesop's work. So it does not necessarily mean Aesop's works. I'm talking about other books that are also children's literature, because further recommendations will be just put further recommendations. Remove this. If the Lion and the Mouse or Aesop, no. Number one, number two, number three, number four only. The name of the book and the title. Author. Like Edgar Allan Poe's what? The Black Cat. Number two, Catherine Lim's Taximan Story. But these are not children's literature, so do not put there. But again, I'm telling you, further recommendations. Recommendations are books, names of books, at least six of them. And all must be children's literature, because this study is about children's literature. All books that you will recommend to us for us to read must also be children's books.
Okay, Doc.
Lower, bibliographical entries. Faster, it's already 11:30. No more, you don't have bibliographical entries or the author's books, and when, maybe access dates. Group number one, I'm not angry at you. I'm emphasizing points so that you can make yourselves right. Everybody, please do the same, because you are not learning. Maybe you didn't listen. You don't have bibliographical entries. Group number one, you don't want me to help you on how you're going to put bibliographical
Uh,
entries.
Mark Leco.
We forgot to put the ano, Doc.
Check the format on one of those um, templates I gave you. And tomorrow you can check more, because there are other entries there in the books used. Again, bibliographical entries are now the complete list and how the authors are cited with their book, their publication, place of publication, and year of publication, and how they must be written with a colon, colon, comma, period, period, and all. So you just have to find out. Again, check back on the materials I sent to you. Group number three now.
Thank you, Doc.
Uh, am I audible, Doc? Hello. Am I audible, Doc?
Yes.
Uh, we chatted down some notes from the group 1, 2, and 4. Sir, I don't. The title of our research is an in-depth analysis of Akiyuki no Saka, a semi-autobiographical short story titled Grave of the Fireflies. So, do I read the whole rationale, Doc, or just
You don't have to, my dear. I am fed up with correcting the same mistakes.
yes, Doc? I already put some comment here, Doc.
It bigger.
Side.
I cannot see that.
Okay, Doc.
Make it bigger. I want to focus on your theories and how you would make your theories tailor fit later to your results and discussion.
Uh, is this okay, Doc?
I said, please, no pay, no year, learn. MLA is page number, not year. As to how you will get the page number, I don't know with you anymore. But all of these are copy pasted. So your problem there is how will you prove that later once it undergoes turn it in.
Yes, Doc.
No 1996, no 1997, but be sure that Bart's page number will be again, and then who else? Like Blossman 2008, that is not how you do MLA. It should be page number. But this Rossman must appear, what is it? I really cannot see. Be very small. Oh, Saussure, 1983. You have a problem there because Saussure, because you cited Saussure, it must be with a page number, and later in the bibliography, all of those will be seen, like the real title of everything of Saussure's um, book. Lower, please. I don't want to have it one by one. If you are not listening, good luck to you. Perhaps we can put your grades I and C, not until you are done, because once Turnitin comes, that may be your problem. And the problem here is we are very much condensed, very, very condensed with time. New historicism, go on. A Marxism, go on. No citation of the authors. Cite all the authors that you want because I'll move down. A lot of theories. Okay, no citation. 1980. Fish, 1980 again. It has to be page number. Effective. Go down. Very long. Asita Setsuko navigate the horrors of World War. That's not how you make a statement of the problem. You prompt us with what the problem is all about. Again, I will not repeat what I said. Statement of the problem, go direct to what is the topic of your state study. This technical paper, this academic paper, what does it say?
Copy, Doc.
Go down. I don't want to read anymore. I have a headache. It's up to you. Scope and limitations. Scope and limitations tell us how will you, what are the discussion, what what are the things that you will only discuss, and what are the things that you will not discuss. Go down. As to your statement of the problem, good luck. Your statement of the problem is way too much. How do you want to attack your statement of the problem? It becomes a failure of a research paper if your statement of the problem will not answer your questions later on in your discussion. So I don't know how to help you out now. Can you go back to your statement of the problem, please? Yeah, mention your impact of war on the lives. What's your uh, what is change the Asita and Satsuko that's already not necessary. Just go directly to your your title. Like what is your title? This technical paper, this literary critical analysis. What's the title? And tell us about what's your title again? Why why is why I don't know. I cannot anymore have it one by one.
An in-depth analysis, doc, uh, of the semi-autobiographical short story of Akiyuki Nosaka, Grave of the Fireflies.
So that must be put there. Can you copy that? And then, yeah.
I will delete the Satan Setsuko part, sir, doc, no? Then add the,
Of
ano.
course. What you will put there is only this literary analysis, this academic paper aims to investigate or aims to explore an in depth analysis. That's what I said. Every title is manifested in the statement of the problem. It shines light on the individual. What is this? Who taught you this? Impact of war on innocent lives. Dear, what are the theories that you use?
The first theory was ano doc, historicism,
Hmm.
and then the second one doc was Marxism,
Marxism.
Marxism, and then expressivism. Simple.
So you have to specify your number three. Moral dilemma and ethical choices, because this is still part of new historicism. Change the moral dilemma. How will you state that, please? Because your theory number three is expressivism. What is expressivism?
It talks about the ano doc, author's psychological and emotional expression doc.
Oh, why don't you put it there? Because you told us expressivism. So it's about the author. So mention it there. And then affective, societal indifference, and abandon. Where is the reader there in your number four? How would we know if you're talking about the reader there? As to how you word it out, please
Uh,
match it with all the theories number one, number two, number three, number four, also in a very organized manner, the same. Go down, please. And each number here, because you have four, will also be four tables with four paragraph in sets to explain the tables above. Go on. Actually, yeah, very seldom would they ask questions about the technical terms. What is this? The method of literary research use. The method of literary research, not the literary that is being applied. Go down. Go down. Yeah, move down, please. Results and discussion is not like this. So we need tables because one table again, one academic paper.
Copy, Doc. The same with the last group.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So you already know how to do this one. Study reveals the following findings. One, what is this? Two, three. Yeah, explain to us. Um, no, no more. I don't want to expound anymore. Again, I already corrected those from the other groups. Yeah, I think that would be it. See you tomorrow, everybody. I am fed up, very tired of giving the same suggestions again and again. I already discussed how you do the further recommendations. Correct that, please. Lead the prayer, Joma.
Yes. Let us put ourselves in the holy presence of God as we all say. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for giving us blessings in our daily life. And please help us with our research uh, and guide us with in our research, Lord, uh, so that we can pass this subject. And sorry for we have sinned. The name of the Father, the Son, the Holy
Of
Spirit.
the
Amen.
Holy Spirit. Amen.
Yeah,
Thank you,
goodbye.
Doc.
Good research. Tomorrow, see you all.
Doc,
Speech lab.
Bye, Doc.